Hello everyone, welcome to Environmental Management, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get credentialed with 1199. To get credentialed with 1199, you must go to their website, specifically their provider manual and participating provider and network page. The link is on the description of this video. You can go, click on it, and it's going to take you directly to this video. The first part of the website, it's basically just a description on which type of providers they accept and that they are currently working directly with CAQH to streamline the process. Basically, the initial part, you just send them an email with a very minimal version of all of the documents that they're going to be reviewing in the actual credentialing process, and everything is streamlined through CAQH. In short, your CAQH needs to be 100% up to date and 100% tested. In the credentialing criteria, at the very minimum, you must have all of this. Some of these elements they can waive, and it really depends on the location that you choose, the demand that they have for members in that area, and the amount of practitioners that they have. So if in a specific area there is high demand and low supply of 1199 providers, or you could prove that you need to be credentialed for XY reason, one of them being, let's say you have a lot of friends and you're a pediatrician and all of your friends have 1199 and you want to see them, that could be an argument that they could definitely wait in. So you need a valid license to practice. That's the first thing. You also need to be graduated from an accredited medical and professional school. You need to have current active medical privileges in a participating hospital in that network. This is 100% not true. I have seen providers and I know providers and I interact with providers who are credentialed with 1199 who are not participating in one of their participating hospitals, but depending on the demand and depending on the need of a specific area, they can definitely waive this requirement. Evidence of at least 5 years of work history. This again is mostly true, but if again there is a high need for providers in a specific area for 1199, they also can overlook to a certain extent this. You need to have professional liability. This is definitely a non-negotiable. This is very standard. You need to have your DEA registration where applicable if you are a provider who you're going to prescribe. For MDs and DOs, you need to have your board certification. Again, depending on the demand of a specific area, they may waive this requirement. You need to participate in Medicaid and Medicare program unless you are voluntarily deciding not to. And the rest is just absence of history of disproportionately excessive professional liability claims, absence of physical and mental impairment, absence of chemical dependency, absence of professional disciplinary actions, absence of history of felony criminal convictions, and then absence of falsifications of credentialing application. This last one, they see it as an action of moral turpitude, which means that if you lie, you're not going to get in. But the rest, if you can prove that something happened in the past and it's not going to translate to your future performance as a provider, they are going to reconsider you and they're going to allow you to be credentialed. If, of course, pending that there is a need and then pending that all of your other documents are in good standing. Then the rest here, it explains about recredentialing. Recredentialing happens every 3 years. Every 3 years you have to send not all of the documents because they have everything else on file, but they need to have the updated liability insurance, they need to have the updated registration, and they need to have the updated W-9. The application process is extremely easy. All you have to do is fill out the recruitment form and then send it via email to providers@1199funds.org. We're going to go over the provider recruitment forms in a second. You could also fax it, or you could also mail it. Again, here they explain to you that they work directly with CAQH to streamline the process, so they're not asking you for a million documents. Everything that is in CAQH, they're going to process it. This information about facility and ancillary providers, you could completely just ignore this. The complete application, and this is something that every application must have, and you could include it in your initial email. I usually include it in the initial email. The W-9, copy of the license, the face sheet of the malpractice liability insurance. If you have any claim history, add it. Also add a resume, your DEA, and that should be it. Let me check if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that should be it. It's basically just a repetition of what you have here, but this basically translates into your resume, this and this. So your resume, W-9, license, DA, and the form. Then if you go down here in complete application, they're not going to process them, so you need to ensure that you have all of those documents in CAQH when they're processing it. Again, recredentialing every 3 years. Delegated credentialing, this is when another facility does the credentialing for you. This does not concern you. This is when a larger private group does it for you. So you can ignore this, and then you could ignore the rest of the information. Then the other link is the link about more information about becoming a provider. Here they tell you all of the specialties that they're currently not accepting new applications for. This is not 100% final. This, again, if you can make your case, they could accept you, but as of right now, it would be a lot harder for a cardiovascular disease doctor, chiropractic, dental, ophthalmologist, physical therapy, podiatry, and then physical medicine and rehab to get in than, let's say, primary care. It would be very, very much harder. If you are a provider of any of these, it's going to be even harder because they have probably direct contracts with specific institutions. Now to participate, you again only have to fill out the provider recruitment form and email that. This is a provider recruitment form. It's very easy, very, very standard. We're gonna go over it now. Definitely check this box. This is allowing them to send you information about the credentialing process. Put the date, legal name, ensure that it matches your license, date of birth, gender, ethnicity. Be sure that you put your ethnicity because this information is going to go on the website. Your languages as well. Name of the practice, tax ID, address of the location that you want to get credential in, office phone number, office fax, then office contact if you have a office manager, or if someone else is doing this for you, then their contact will be here as well as here. Sometimes the office manager is usually the person who's doing credentialing, or sometimes it's just the doctor themselves. These videos are 100% for the doctors to do it themselves. Website, provider email address, patient-facing email address. This is the address that it's gonna go on the website, and the patients are going to email you directly here when they find you. Credentialing contact address. This is this person's email address. Credentialing contact phone number. The person who's doing the credentialing phone number. Again, it could be you yourself as a doctor, or it could be a office manager. Best way to contact email. This is how they're gonna contact you. the primary specialty. If you're board certified, you could put no. If it's a no, then if you plan to be board certified, you could put yes, or you could put no. Again, if you are an MD, they're definitely gonna ask you more questions if you're not board certified, and you're definitely going to be. It's gonna be, the consideration is gonna be a little harder for them. Put your 10 digits MPI here and your CAQH ID here. Lastly, just check this box. Check this box. If you're a nurse practitioner, you need to have a collaboration agreement. This is something that they're going to ask you during the credentialing process. Also check this box, provide your signature, and then date it. Lastly, on the member information, a member can actually fill out this form right here and give you this. So a member can actually have this printed out and request that you, as their doctor, to be credentialed with 1199. This is oftentimes considered as a good weight in the application, because this is someone who is in their network who's requesting you as a doctor to be on their network. So that is an extra push for your application to be considered and potentially be positive, the outcome. Lastly, this is for their internal use, and that is it. All you have to do again is just send an email with this form. Then they're going to work directly with CAQH to gather all of the rest of the information that we went over in this page. I usually send this form with all of the documents, but of course that doesn't mean that they're not going to enter CAQH anyways and check everything anyways. The process takes between 45 to 90 days. Sometimes it could take a little longer. Sometimes it could take just 45 days. I've never experienced in any instance that it takes less than 45 days, but after you send this, it's just a waiting game. You get a email reply back if you email this with the confirmation that they received it. Then after that, you just have to sit and wait.